up. We got the
Thumbs up.
All
thumbs.
right, welcome, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Conservation Commission meeting for May 17th, 2017. This meeting is being video and audio recorded per open meeting laws. First, tonight we just have basically a couple of informal hearings and a small administrative order to take care of. We have here a certificate of release, which means that a notice order of conditions were filed years and years ago. They were never addressed, and now there's a new owner coming to the house, and this new owner has to release this from their deed, so we can't legally have a certificate of compliance because it's outside the time period. So what we normally do, as we've done many times in the past, is have a certificate of release for expired orders of condition. The address is 22 Massachusetts Avenue in Norfolk.
25?
We got a couple.
Does it say 25?
It's known
Says
as lots,
22 on the-
known as lots number 88,
This one says
89, and
25.
90 Massachusetts Ave. Right, so
22,
22
sorry.
Massachusetts Ave. All right,
My typo on the note, sorry.
that's okay. So if there are no objections, I'll entertain an order to accept approve the certificate of release for 22 Mass Ave.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we get this signed for Janet. Our first hearing is with Mark Strahan, is that it, Mark? How are you? 26 Fleetwood Ave. Why don't you have a seat up here and let us know what you're here for, okay? You have any,
Them to pull up chairs?
you can pull up chairs, that'd be fine,
And that's
sure.
Jennifer Klein, right? Are you Jen?
Jen's actually, that's my fiance, she actually owns the property. She's been in
Okay.
for 22 years. And we brought a copy of the proposal of.
Is this Mirror Lake project here?
That's the next guy,
The
yeah.
next guy. And this plan is where?
26 Fleetwood?
26 Fleetwood, there should be one for each.
Okay, this is,
26.
this is,
I got one of those.
We
Fleetwood.
have it? Okay. We brought extras, we didn't.
Oh, good.
all right.
Okay.
So right now you have a one-story home there, correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
It's a raised ranch.
Okay, and you have no garage currently?
No
A-
garage.
And what are you doing? You're looking to put on a two-car garage?
So what we'd like to do is actually, we want to add
Yeah,
a,
well, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, we want to add a family room and then another bathroom, and underneath the family room, a two-car garage. And then another, kind of like a library, for lack of another word, a place for, Mark has a big collection of military miniatures, and I want to keep them in one place when he moves in. We're getting,
It's kind of hard to
Congratulations.
distinguish from, all right, so you've got a proposed a modular block wall, correct?
That was one idea.
Right, yeah, the line that we're gonna be looking at is the 50-foot no-build line. And that, if I can follow it with my eyes, it is this dotted light blue line, is that it? That basically comes through the back deck, is that it? Am I following that correctly?
I think so, yeah.
50-foot, yeah, we kind
All
of
right.
lose it, yeah. Through the deck and then down towards where the
All right.
walkway is, yeah.
And the top of the slope, what's the elevation of the top of the slope? Right here, do you know, Janet?
No,
I'm not 100%
Is
sure.
the top of that slope sort of level with your yard?
That is, but then it slopes
Right, and then,
away.
and then it goes down,
To
then
the-
it goes
to the
down to the
wetlands.
wetland.
all even, and
Yeah.
then it goes
Right here,
I think the original builder, people were speculating because it was 24 years ago, but Russ Waldron, who did the flagging for us,
Yeah.
he and then the two men who came out and did the survey for O'Brien, they all speculated that they took the dirt from was dug out for the original foundation and put it out there to kind of level off
The yard?
the yard. And our proposal
Right,
was
yeah,
to
fuck
put a
that.
driveway, to extend the driveway, which currently stops at just about the front of the existing house, run it along the existing house, and then it would turn to the right into the new proposed two-car
Fuck,
garage
right, yeah,
under
fuck
the
it.
addition.
You are gonna have to file with us formally,
Yes.
Yeah,
because and then your issue is here, that your whole structure is in the 50-foot no-build zone. Yeah,
Right, which was actually a surprise, because when I bought the house, I was
fuck,
given
right,
this
yeah, well,
document
fuck, yeah,
that showed that the wetlands were much further. So when we stood in the side yard and Russ was there, and he said, well, there it is right there. I said, no, that can't possibly be it, because I have this thing that says they're
Right.
over there. So it was quite a surprise to find out that the wetlands were that close.
And normally with a new addition like that, we'll look at the site division, especially with it sloping down. We don't allow new constructions going into the no-build zone. That's normally what we don't do. The 50 to 100-foot zone, there's a lot more leadway that we have. We get a protection so it doesn't flow into the wetland. I guess my question is, is there any other place on the house where this garage could be put? Could this house be put in the back of the garage? Well, the back of the garage would be the same, well,
The problem is the septic is on the other side.
Right.
So if we ran the driveway on the
Fuck.
other side, we run into the septic system issue.
whereabouts is the septic?
The septic is right over here.
Yeah, I see where it's.
It's on the,
Over there. It's
right there on the
On
plan,
the other side.
right there.
Oh, approximate septic, okay.
All right, and this field is way back here.
That's where the field is, but the
All right,
tank is right here.
you understand that you can take that tank and move that around with a lot of liberal. So, I mean, you can have the Board of Health actually take this tank, and you can have this drain line from the tank to the field moved and enter to the back of your house. You
Okay.
can have it moved to the front of your house. So, where the field is really way up in the back there, you've got opportunity now. I don't know what the floor plan is of your home, so that's why I'm asking, but you do have opportunity by moving that tank to put the garage on that side of the house, on the right side looking at it.
Okay.
If you did that, right, you would be, you've got, there are no wetlands on that side, right, Janet?
Correct.
All right, so you've got full latitude to just, really, actually, you could do what you want there, and you wouldn't have to file
Oh,
with
they're-
us then.
They're still within the 100-foot.
Where is it? This is kind of,
Yeah, the 100-foot is there's a 50, there's the 100 right there.
all right, so they still are.
Yeah.
So you would have to file, but the good thing is you'd be in that outer zone, the 50 to 100 foot, where you have a lot more leadway for construction. So again, I'm not sure how your house, are you doing a remodeling inside your house too?
Yeah.
Does it- All right, does it work with the garage on the right-hand side for you, if you can move that tank?
I don't think so. I think we'd have to work with the.
Right.
Well,
Definitely
with
have to ask the architect, because what we were doing, we were basically working with the existing house plan. So when you walk in,
Right, yeah.
you know, living room, kitchen, and then family room, were all on the left-hand side.
well,
And then that's what.
See, the
that's what
problem
we
is you've
did.
got, this wall here is like 10 feet away from the wetland line. So to build that wall, you'd be right on the wetlands there.
that was one of the questions we
Right,
wanted to
yeah.
ask. Do we have to build that wall? That was a proposal because
Really, well, that wall is done to minimize the grade effect and to stop runoff. So I'm guessing, without seeing any elevations here, the wall is a help. So when your garage is built there, it's level. I think you may need that to level off the garage. Again, looking with no detail on here. And that could work as a boundary to stop things from running off into the wetland, but
is this picture, this is an illustration. Our architect is also a kind of an artist. He was that before he became an architect, and he drew that because Jen really felt that she needed to see a visual of what we were proposing.
so this is the garage in the back of the house.
Yeah, that would be, as you're looking from the street, it would be to the left, because the driveway currently runs down to that side of the house, when you look at it.
But you're looking to put the garage off to the side.
Right, that was.
This is a garage under, you want an attached garage.
No, this is
No,
garage under.
garage under, that's what we want.
So where in this plan is the garage going? There's your footprint. Where in the
It
plan?
would go like this. This is the existing house, this is the am I seeing this right?
I see
No,
a
this-
faint
this-
red line.
Here's the
In the red
driveway
line.
now.
Mhm.
We would come down, we would extend the driveway along the length of the existing house. You have to lower the grade and then turn in under the new addition.
Is this what you're thinking of, like right out the back like that? You just drew it in behind the house?
So,
The box like
car-
that,
right
off the
here.
back of the house?
Well, that's,
Whole addition,
on
this,
this,
right?
yeah, this whole addition is
All right.
that whole thing. It's almost like doubling the size of the house. And here's the driveway, and you would turn in like that.
I would suggest that, so you certainly have to file a notice of intent with us, but you're really gonna have to look, you've got all of the activity right up to the wetland line, and this is an addition. So really, you're probably gonna have to look at ways to put this on the other side of your home.
Is there any way, I mean, we're willing to do
Yeah,
whatever is
yeah,
necessary, but is there any way to mitigate some of the problems in terms of using permeable
Right,
materials for the driveway?
you mean keeping it on this side?
Yeah.
Right, no,
It's just
because
too
your,
close.
your whole structure is,
You would
in the
come to
no
50,
build.
yeah.
Just
Either
too
0 to
close.
50.
and you're
On
grading,
this side and this side here, maybe move your whole driveway over here and come in this side, I don't know,
right,
if that's possible.
Can I ask you guys something? Because
Yeah.
I used to, years ago, I was on the city council in Everett where I grew up, but I'm not familiar, they didn't have a conservation commission. But it's kind of interesting to me that looking at plans that were accepted by the town back in 1994, how could they be off so
right,
significantly?
you mean the wetland line?
Yeah,
Right, that's, well, they do change. What date is that plan? That was,
1994.
all right, so in the next, in the 20-something years or so, obviously, the wetland line is encroached over.
see.
Sure. And this is, the same one was on file here at Town Hall.
Were those things witnessed, the old wetland line? Do we have any record of that being witnessed, and by whom?
Interesting, because
Right, yeah.
Russ Waldron said to us that if you look at the flag line on that one, that was done by an engineering firm, and they indicate the flag line was done by someone working for the Conservation Commission.
Well, that
And
really,
yet-
that really doesn't matter. What matters is that this was witnessed, the flagging,
Yeah,
by someone in the Conservation Commission. That's what matters. And when you do that, there's normally a notation saying the date that these flags were done and witnessed and approved. Other than that, many folks go out there with whatever background and just establish lines. You're welcome to do that, it's not a problem. When you come to us, we have to establish official line. Of course, the best way to do it, obviously, right, is to go out right now and see what it's like. And if Russ Waldron put the line where it is in this plan, and he's excellent,
yeah.
Well, that's what we call it.
the odds are very strong that that is the line. So sorry, but I really can't comment on this plan here from before, who did it, or,
You know
No,
what?
no, I know, it was just the same town, it was the Town Conservation Commission
If
that
I may, for
accepted
1
it.
minute.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have this plan here, Mr. Whittleton.
right,
It's something I found, but Pine Meadow Estates, it goes back to like
Little isolated wetland
89.
right here, that's just
And
all
see
just kind
here
of
is,
come together.
so I think this ends somewhere here on the curve. It's before the houses even went in there, but
Yeah.
there they're showing that whole grade, so where exactly?
yeah, I start to
They have
wonder
another
too, where they
wetland
had,
line.
was this done before the house was built? Perhaps?
I don't know. I
Probably,
just-
because this is just a square box, so I'm guessing before the house was built. And now you talk about them creating a mound over on this side. I'm starting to wonder when they constructed this home and they moved all of the grading around, that they might have actually moved the line by letting the water come closer by changing the grade. That's all I can guess, because this here is.
Well, so you have this line back here, if this is a valid line. And then you have this little isolated area that's kind of all on the same elevation. So it doesn't take much, as
Which
John was
actually,
saying.
that's not there anymore, what Russ mentioned. He said that little.
But the line is now
The
moved.
line is right there.
The line
whole
is now
I
moved
there.
through here.
I know where the new line is, but
Right.
he has said, but anyway.
Yeah, no, but that's what happens, when, especially when you get an area that's really flat like that, it does move
Spread.
back and forth and change.
And there's also a brook right over there too, so,
okay.
you know,
Where?
Yeah.
this
No,
blue
it's a
over
little
here.
bit further.
Off of
so you go
Rockwood.
off of Rockwood.
Where is it on the plan?
Right behind Cliffs. You know where Cliffs is? It's
Where's the
behind.
brook in
Even
the
know
house?
if it's off their lot,
Is there a brook on this plan?
probably not, because if it's off the lot, lots of times they don't put that. 100-year flood elevation, so, you know,
All right.
and with the brook too, things
Right.
change, or subdivisions, houses.
Septic
But if
system's
there's
been
a flood
moved.
zone, that's something that's
Did you notice that?
in there.
No, I mean, I'm not an expert.
From with
No,
this,
it hasn't
that might have been
been
the
moved.
original plan. It might
So
have
I'm
been-
starting to think
Yeah.
that this plan was drafted up with the box foundation. The septic plan was proposed over here. It might have been all redone with an actual footprint, and the septic actually moved.
Well, the only reason I asked is because that was an engineering firm that, this same engineering firm's plans are on file with the town. So I was just trying to find out, because I don't understand much about this, and I'm trying
Right.
to figure out the right way. We want to do things the right way. Jen had an
Right.
accident last year
Fuck,
in the, on the Martin Luther King
Right.
Day. Her driveway slipped on the ice and severely broke her right leg just below the knee.
I'm very much looking forward to having
And she's
some kind of
very,
garage.
yeah.
Because my legs are put together with pins and plates now, my right leg, so I'm looking forward to having it.
There unfortunately, this is a precedent-setting board, so we let someone put a new addition off of a home that abuts a wetland line, and we set precedent for everybody else that comes
Yeah,
in.
no, I only mention it because that's why we were
Right.
particularly looking for a
Yeah, well,
garage,
the fuck,
just to be able to.
My only hope is where you're having a big addition put on, and is this a normal footprint of a raised ranch with a kitchen, living room, dining room, and 3 bedrooms?
Yes.
there? I'm hoping that during the construction, they could arrange the inner walls there to make this all workable when you put your new addition on.
Yeah, well, what, the current proposal by the architect, we've had 3 iterations of the plans, because
Keep
there were
changing.
some pluses and minuses on each one.
Right.
But because of where the tank is for the, emptying the tank of the septic, the architect said we couldn't build out over that way with a dug foundation, which we'd need for the garage. So we were actually gonna extend, that was gonna be my room, and that was gonna be extended on pillars, even though he was gonna put an artificial front on it, so it looked like it was all the way down to the ground level, but it would actually be on pillars, so that we wouldn't be, because we couldn't dig where the,
But it is acceptable to move the septic system. if you need
Absolutely.
to.
Well, you just have to move the tank.
Just the tank, just move the tank, the leaching
You
field
can
can stay
run a
raised.
Right
sewer
here.
line under a driveway,
Okay,
that's okay.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Right here.
So the line coming out of the house can be under the driveway.
so basically going over to the right, we still have to file
No.
properly because
Oh, yeah,
we're
okay.
within the 50 to 100.
Correct.
Well, you're within the 100.
With the 100, okay, we're within the 100.
Right here.
So, but moving, okay, so
So-
moving to the right.
So you're saying then that if we were to put the garage on the other side, say we keep the same setup, it would end up being under what's going to be my library versus under the family room? It would be on the, if you
everything
face
would
the
go-
house, it would be on the opposite side.
Right.
Then would you think we'd be in compliance with the needs of the Conservation Commission?
Right.
and things like that?
You'd be,
That
you'd be,
addition is still, I mean, the addition itself,
Right.
garage on the other side is still within the
right, well, what
Yeah.
you'd,
He's talking
One
about,
zero
he's talking
fifty.
about the right side.
Yeah.
what you'd be though, you'd be in,
driveway on the right side.
you'd be in the
addition is still
same,
taking the whole.
you'd be in the same area that many people that file with us that are doing work in the 50 to 100 foot.
He's thinking
You're
the
far enough
same,
away from the
take
wetland so we can put up protection so nothing gets disturbed, and we allow projects in that all the time.
Okay.
So it'd be a much more smooth process.
So it sounds hopeful for us if we
Oh,
just move things on the right
Well,
side.
absolutely. Right.
But this little red line here, like you were just saying, this
Yeah,
little red, we can't,
You almost, I
We
mean,
wouldn't
the
be
way
able
I'm
to
seeing it,
structure.
you'd have to shift your whole addition over to
over
the
to,
right.
it has to
So it
move more.
bumps out
Bumps
and
out to the right.
bumps out
Yeah,
at a
okay.
two-car garage length, and you
Right.
drive into your
Right.
garage from the
Well,
street.
this,
It's gonna bump
this
up
line
this
here,
way.
you can't encroach on that line. Okay.
The driveway is already encroaching on that
You
line.
are correct.
So
What line
how
is
is it,
But-
you drew that line in, or he drew?
No, that's on there, that is that, see right here, it
What
says
is that?
50 foot, up here, there's
Oh,
the
right there,
heading.
yeah,
50 foot
buffer to
buffer.
wetlands, okay, yeah.
So you can propose to do work in that 50 to 100 foot buffer.
So even the house, under that stipulation, even the house is within the
It is
50
now.
feet now.
Well, it's grandfathered.
Yeah, the house is an already built structure.
Right
So the
here.
other thing I could do too, we could potentially stay in the same footprint and just build up.
That would be the other thing.
Right,
Yeah,
The
you
second
can do
story on
that.
the house.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
another
So
option.
you
If
could
your
do an
house-
addition on the right side of the house.
If your house,
Yeah.
Or you could just build, make it longer instead of, make
Yeah.
it wider instead of longer.
but another point is just,
You can go further out on the right and
But we,
deeper.
Yeah.
but we'd still have to In effect, we would still have to put any addition off the back, it would still have to be indented
right.
in off
It all
the,
has
and
to-
how much, by how many feet?
I'd say half the addition.
Yeah, see right
You
there.
see that line
This
that runs
line
through
right
that
here, so-
50-foot buffer, you can work in that 50 to 100.
Okay.
With a C detail above boxes, actually, that's where you want to probably start.
Yep.
Go over to your right and go to two-car garage length. And drive in from the front of the building to your garage.
And what's the buffer for the property line?
25 on the side, unless that's different than that neighborhood.
This is probably get 25-foot side setbacks.
Yeah.
It says right here 27 on the,
I see, well, that's what I was looking at, that says 27, so it would be,
But then
That's
it's,
building department.
Yeah.
That's
I
on
just,
an
I didn't know
angle.
if anybody just knew what that was.
well, you get two builders here, so.
So it's 20.
It's usually 25, unless,
Okay.
I know in my neighborhood it's
Yeah.
25 on the side.
Okay,
So it looks like you have a lot of latitude when you go on the other side.
okay. Thanks.
and we could, like you said, we could go
Drive
further
in.
back a little bit too.
Yeah, but, I mean, just kind of like kitty corner. The
Kinda
new
kitty
addition would be
corner.
like this.
Yeah, kitty corner
The
because
garages would be
of
coming
this
in from
line
the
right
front.
there.
It's important to let your architect know that, well, he knows what
Could
the
extend the
50-foot
whole house
line is,
wide.
and
We'll
he'll
show him
Yeah.
that.
he'll
Same
design
frame.
around that. Right
Okay.
here.
Thank
Is
you.
there anything else that, based on looking at this, anything else we need to be aware of going forward?
Not that I can think of, no. It's
Not from a
floodplain here, is
conservation
it?
commission perspective, anyway.
Okay.
It's in a floodplain?
I don't think so, because I thought we were peeking, I would double check
I'm
though.
not in a floodplain.
You're not, you don't have to, okay,
I
good,
don't.
You
good.
weren't, you are now.
Right
I'm
here.
not in a
Good, no.
floodplain. I do know
Did
that.
know.
Which is a good thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Yep.
good night.
All right, next we have Mr. Foran, Larry?
Oh, do you?
Right here.
I guess I'll stand over there.
Stand right here.
I think I want to point to that, though, or you, I can take it down.
Point to what?
Your picture?
Well,
She
this
put
is-
the other pieces up.
Yeah, I can't
okay.
see it.
Copy.
Right, well, I have copies for everybody, so.
Oh, there you
Ooh, where'd the house go?
House is gone, house no more.
Peekaboo.
Just to start from scratch, you have an outstanding order of conditions.
Yes.
Correct? And the order of conditions allowed you to do what?
Remove the house.
Remove the house?
Yep.
All right, so that's right, because your house was right on the lake,
Correct.
and we sort of,
Yikes. I drove by this house for 14 years,
Yep.
every day.
all
I
right.
guess I only have,
All right, so right,
take that copy down if you want that copy.
right here.
go.
So
If
right,
that helps to, I'm sorry, if that helps for the members to understand what you're discussing.
They all have a copy of that. I was gonna get the other one for you, actually.
Me and Tom can split one.
Yeah, you can give those to her.
Okay. Well, there's, I mean, if they don't need them up there anyway.
House is gone. Not much more to look at.
Whoops. I'm gonna take that one.
Thank you. Oh, that was me, sorry.
That's the original?
Yeah.
on the order of conditions in effect, he was taking down just the back porch, is that correct? All right, you initially were just gonna take off your porch, correct?
It was
We
gonna
changed it to
switch
the
this.
entire house.
So your orders of
At the
conditions
last-
showed coming the house
Right.
down?
You have, yep,
That was the last meeting that you
modified it.
weren't at.
All right, we modified it, and right now the house is gone,
the house is gone.
is the site all cleaned up?
The site is all cleaned up. this is before the site is all cleaned up, but
Right, but the site's, have you been out there, Janet?
Yes,
The site is all cleaned up, so he's working from a,
yeah, these were the pictures. None of that was there when I went there.
all right.
Right.
It just looked
Okay, all right.
bizarre.
So basically, you're taking a house where the porch was pretty much on the water?
yep. If
Right.
you need the, oh, you have.
No, I'm fine.
You have it, yes. The-
And you're moving the porch, you're rebuilding the house, you're moving the porch that was gonna be on the waterfront back how many feet?
Moving the whole house back about 10 feet,
Right.
putting an 8-foot porch on, which will be just shy of the water now.
Right.
And the thing that I'm interested in talking to you about, just more of an advisory than anything, is across from the actual house. So if you look at this, in the old house, the wall was rough. The walkway and everything is pretty much where it is with the old house.
Yep.
So across from the walkway is this other wall, that retaining wall that's falling down,
Yep.
and with a bunch of block that's falling down. And it was okay when nobody was really using the house, but that's about a 6-foot drop off.
Where?
And, pardon me?
Where the wall is?
Where it is today. Oh, you don't have that one?
No, I don't.
Okay. Sorry, I got an extra.
So this is what it's existing right now?
That's what's existing right now. And basically, what I want to do is I'm moving away from the conservation area, so it's not impacting the conservation area at all. Moving back about 10 feet, and that wall, I'm guessing, I mean, it's not, this is me, so I'm not perfect here. I'm guessing the wall, the new retaining wall, looks to be, if we put it where I'd like it to be, and that's based on the orientation of the house, it'd only be about 2 feet high.
All right, so you're taking the wall that's there now and you're moving it back. How
Back.
many feet?
Probably about 10.
All right. Does he have a disturbance limit along the whole lot line by the water?
Originally.
In other words, this should all have a sill fence here and
It
hay
does,
bales right
yeah.
now, all the way across.
Yes.
It does.
It does. Do
All
you
right.
need to see that?
No, I do not.
That's on
Janet, can I
Mr.
ta-
Weddleton, that's on the photos.
All right,
here.
great. So it's all protected right now. That's
Yes.
my only point.
Yep.
If you're moving the wall back, well, not obvious, but to me, that's no problem. I think
Right.
it's better to get things away from there. You got this all protected. So your level of disturbance, from what your orders of conditions show now, is the same. It's not changing. It's the same level of disturbance. And actually, you're actually enhancing things because you're moving that and fixing it up and moving it back. So, right, I don't know if, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, if you want to explain, aside from that wall there, the part that you were,
Oh, about the stone?
yeah,
Okay.
that's,
I was gonna, it's 2 parts, so I wanted to get past,
That's this part
this is the
over
most
here.
important part right at the moment.
Right here.
What did I do with the other stuff? The other issue is, today, as I was even over there one nice day, there gets a lot of wave action from the boats. And if you look at these pictures, I think Janet has them too. I don't think I have a lot of them.
All right.
that's all right.
This one is just an older version of that before I cleaned the house up.
So this
Yeah, we
area
got
here
the-
you're talking about? here,
Yeah, this is
coming in?
in front of the wall, but if you look over here,
Let's have it directed so we can all look at this together. Show us,
okay,
so we all see what
I
you're
have
talking
a-
about.
if you look at this right here, first of all, he had thrown a lot of cinder block everywhere in the water. So the stuff that's sitting here is the stuff I pulled out of the water so we could get to the beach without breaking our necks. So if you look in front, I probably have a better picture.
Go by
There-
that, that's fine. Go ahead.
There's the block wall holding that room up, and in front of that, there was concrete abutments.
But that's all gone now.
Right, and
All right.
in front of that, if you look close, was all the stone
All right.
and a mixture of broken, I don't know where he got.
What I'm interested,
brick. Okay.
excuse me, but what I'm interested in, you got a clear sight. Let's go from there. Forget about the old wall from
I want to
before.
put
It's all
stone in front of that area to hold it, to hold the
in
beach
front of
front.
what area?
To hold the beachfront.
Like a 1-inch stone, 3/4 stone? Like, what
Whatever
do
you
think?
want. I have, right now, looking at it, I read up and I read the Massachusetts laws on this, and this is the recommendation that the state has.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at doing that, just following the recommendation of the state for this.
Can you just turn that so,
Sure.
oh, good Lord, okay, never mind.
Do you want it?
No.
You can read it. It's pretty simple, it's
When you
pretty
start-
basic.
When you start to put rocks in the water's edge, you first of all, you'd be changing your orders of condition. That'd be a new filing, that'd be amended filing. And now you start to set a precedent by having everybody else in Mirror Lake come and want to do the same thing.
If it had rock there already.
It didn't, though. It had
did.
cinder block,
No, it had rock.
but it's gone.
The rock in front of the cinder block is gone,
All right,
yes.
so it's all cleaned out now?
Yes.
All right. So you're looking for a new rock wall to put there?
And I'm not putting a rock wall up. I'm just putting a rock border. Their technical term for it from the state is riprap. Which is, if you look at it,
I know what riprap is.
okay, well, there's a picture in case we just want to do, that's what I want to do, basically.
That's something, as I said, whether we would allow that or not, and we'd have to do some research, that would definitely require amending your orders of condition. That's a whole new process here on what you're doing.
Okay. If you say it is, I understand.
I say it is.
If it's got stone there today, though, already, and that's the purpose of the stone, is to hold, keep it, the wave action from eroding the shoreline.
When you take a disturbance and you remove it out, that
Okay.
doesn't give you the entitlement to put the disturbance back in, no matter what purpose it serves. Because right now, you're starting to take the project that was the porch, and you're starting to add layers and layers. The other layers don't concern me because you're far away from the disturbance area.
Okay.
When you talk about taking machinery and bringing riprap down there and putting it on the shore, and possibly changing the water's edge, to me, that's not something I could answer right now. I don't know if anybody here could, except for maybe Dan.
I'm just reading this, and this
That's
is,
Maine, by the way.
Yeah, this is-
It's just a picture, that's why.
okay.
We all know what
But also the
riprap-
Environmental Protection Agency probably need a permit from them.
Well, yeah, it's very
State's
expensive.
Maine does
Anytime,
that.
anytime you put any type of structure by the water's
It doesn't say that
edge.
in the,
Doesn't say that in the math?
no, doesn't say that in the mass. It basically says to check with you.
Right. The regulations for Mass and Norfolk are very different,
Okay.
very different.
You see that one?
As a minimum, I can't give you an answer now whether that would be allowed, but you would have to refile and ask for that. And then you'd be telling us how you're getting it there, how you're placing it in the water's edge, et cetera, et cetera. And where is the high water edge you're gonna put this?
Okay. I'm putting it back where the high water edge is today, where it was and where I'd like it to remain.
Well, we're talking,
Because-
again, we're talking about a new wall being put in from what was there before that was grandfathered. This is different.
Okay.
This going in there means that anybody in Mirror Lake coming around that wants to line the whole water's edge with riprap, we would have a tough time saying no on appeal. So I guess the question for the board comes, do we want to line a riprap at the shore all around Mirror Lake? Not to say that's the case. That's the question. See, we're not dealing with your filing by itself, we're dealing with a precedent for everybody down the road that's going to file in this. So I don't have the answer to that, whether it could be done or not, or how. But if you decided you wanted to move forward with that, you would have to refile and possibly amend the orders that you have.
Here's a better
Excuse
picture,
me.
just so you know. So you can see that there's stone in front of that.
Yeah, we
No,
got
I
this
understand.
picture here.
Okay, I
understand.
wasn't sure that you saw that already.
If
And
I
that's
could,
the part, I read as many regulations for Norfolk and the state that I possibly could on this stuff.
yeah.
And it doesn't say that anywhere.
So if I could make a suggestion, I
Sure.
used to live on Mirror Lake.
Okay,
I would go down and see what the various shorelines look like, get in a canoe or a small boat, and just go around and see what does the various shorelines look like. Because the purpose here is to bring this back to some level of natural state. And seeing what these guys have on their shoreline and down the way. And I think what you'll find is you will find a lot of exposed rocks.
most of it is stone walls. I mean,
But
with
what's not a
cement
stone
and
wall?
mortar,
Yeah, but what's not a
cement.
stone wall, especially when you get on the other side where there's no development to speak of? I mean, there's a few houses on the back side, but there's not a lot.
On my side of the lake,
No, on the other side.
on the other side, There's a lot of stone walls all the way across.
No.
Anyways, let's
Okay.
not deliberate.
But my only point was, try to bring it back to a state that matches what the surrounding properties are. Not necessarily build a stone wall, but look at the ones that don't have stone walls and how are they contoured. And I don't think you're gonna see that riprap like that, except down by the dam.
Okay. This, to me, in reading the state laws and the town stuff, because it was very unclear in the town, this is the most natural, the state recommends this because it's the most natural and it works as a filtration system for runoff and everything else. They actually like it, where they not thrilled about walls and the rest of the stuff because it undercuts and all kinds of other issues that.
Right, but now what you're doing is you're laying a new structure on top of the resource area.
Riprap is used standardly in runoff on detention basins to clean the water before it goes into the main body. You're creating an edge here, and I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not. But anyways,
Okay.
if you decide you wanna file with us, you're welcome to. If you do file with us, we can do some research in the meantime. We can actually do some research on the existing properties in Merrill Lake, but we could do that with Google Map too, probably, correct? Because basically, if you're allowed to do that, Dan, then anybody else that comes is allowed to do that. So what you have now is a shorefront that has a riprap wall around whatever portion, and that's what we're here for.
Right.
We're not
I'd
necessarily
like,
sure what it's
honestly, I'm
got.
just trying to replace what was there. And that's the part that
You're
I'm
changing,
having trouble.
you're changing your whole site, and what I'm saying
No,
here,
I
what,
get all the other stuff that you.
well,
you
what
told me.
I'm saying here, I'm not saying a formal rock wall, I'm saying basically rocks and debris, that's what I'm seeing in the water's edge.
If
That's
the-
what I'm saying. I'm not saying any formal type of structure of wall. I'm saying debris. And we're taking the debris out, which is one of the reasons you're getting permits to do the work in the resource area. You're cleaning up the area. But now you're coming back and saying you want to put the rocks, albeit in a formal way, back along the water's edge.
Right, this is all stone.
Yeah,
All
it
the
looks
way
like it was
across.
just there.
Right,
I
well,
understand.
no, he put it there,
All
or
right,
somebody put
I
it there,
think-
I didn't put it
All right,
there.
I think I'm done arguing.
Okay,
I think I've made my point. I think I've given you direction on which way that
well,
you
I
can go.
just wanna reiterate, so I understand, because I don't right now, so I apologize,
That's fine.
my ignorance.
That's fine.
What do I have to do?
You have to,
Exactly.
you have to refile.
And what does that mean, refile?
That means you have to refile a notice of intent, a filing, to put a stone wall or whatever, a riprap line along the water's edge.
Okay, can I ask a question? If it's already warm and somebody's got a pretty darn brand-new large boat, went by today while I was over there. If I start losing what recourse do I have if I lose the front of my sand because of the wave action?
I guess with everybody else that has waterfront property, same recourse, whatever that may
Well-
be.
Okay,
No, Mr. Whittleton, though,
Yes.
where he already has an order of conditions for the property, the suggestion to do amended order of conditions,
Well,
because then it's,
no, this is different. I mean, if he wants to put a rock wall along the shorefront, don't we have to first determine where the shorefront is?
I'm not putting up a wall up, okay.
I know what a riprap lining is. I know what
Okay.
that, I know it as
Okay.
well. I do it, as a matter of
Okay.
fact, I've been doing it for 30 years. So I know
Okay.
exactly what it is. And it's used for drainage normally, not as a barrier to stop the runoff from the water. Would the line of the top of the bank have to be determined first? If you're gonna be putting, you wanna make sure.
It's gonna be very tough to determine top of bank there because it's so badly disturbed going on there.
Same.
The reason that I suggested is to look at what that, if you're standing in, with the house behind you and you're looking directly across the lake, there are no houses over there,
Correct.
except up on top of the hill.
Right.
So my suggestion was to see what the natural looks like, and by looking around, if you want to propose something that is natural, maybe you put a few rocks in the water to break up the waves coming in or something like that, that's to put it back to a natural state.
Would you rather I just put fieldstone in front? I'm willing to do something simple. I'm worried about losing that front that was there, this other stuff. If you're worried about this, I don't care about it. I just want to keep the waves from taking the first 4
Yeah.
feet or whatever it ends
So
up.
find a way to do it and make it look like it naturally was there all along.
Well, if I take the fieldstone that's on my property, that kind of looks, I'm calling it fieldstone for lack, I'm not educated in what stone really is, you know, but if it looks more like, if I take the fieldstone, that's in the front, but I have piles of that. If I put the fieldstone in that looks very similar, I don't have to do this. I did this, researched this, and this looked, according to the state, was the most eco-friendly thing, so I thought that would be the proper thing to bring to you. If you're telling me I can just put fieldstone, so it lays in similar.
We didn't tell you that.
Well,
what we
the
told you-
gentleman, I'm sorry, your name is Dan, suggested.
I am one member of the board.
I understand.
What,
Okay.
you direct your questions to me.
Okay.
All right, what I suggested, I'll say it for the whatever time. If you want to put some type of stonework at the water's edge, you do have to file. My suggestion is you contact someone like Russ Waldron that may have a background in what you can or cannot do. I will tell you this, how many lakes do we have in the town of Norfolk? 4 or 5?
dozen top.
All right,
Yeah.
do you know anyone that has a riprap border in any shore in any lake?
I don't know anyone on the lake, but is Mirror Lake the only one that have
No, there's
gas
Populatic,
engines?
there's Cape
Populatic
Ray,
has
there's a
boats.
bunch.
Populatic
Right.
Kings, no, Highland Lake doesn't. Most of the lakes have a very natural shoreline unless somebody has built a wall.
Most of
Correct.
if you look directly across from my property, where you said it's abandoned, which it is, because.
It's
I
not
don't
abandoned,
think
it's just
you-
undeveloped.
You can't develop there, I don't believe.
We get into speculation here, again, same thing. I
The
think,
first house to the right of that has a huge rock wall.
Mhm.
And so I know most of the houses on the lake have rock walls. Personally, I'm not interested in a rock wall. It's not natural, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not, you know, I, again, thought this would be according to the state laws, this was the most eco-friendly option I had, which is why I threw it out there. If I do nothing, it's just gonna continue to erode. It was not eroding before because there was rock in front of all of that stuff, that the block and everything else, and you can clearly see that in the pictures. I have pictures from 10 years ago, you can see it in that
Yeah.
as well.
I don't think, John's not telling you you can't put rocks there, he's just telling you you gotta file.
Okay,
Yeah, it has to be a separate process from the house itself.
okay,
I was merely making a suggestion as to what I thought might be appropriate for the
Okay.
lake, and these guys might not like that, so.
okay. Well, I'm trying to expedite it too,
I understand.
because this has been going on for 2.5 years. I'd like to be done with it, honestly. I'll move ahead, I'm good to move ahead with the other wall, though. There's no issues with that.
no issues at all.
No.
Okay, all right. I guess that's it then.
Yep.
Do I need to do anything else?
If you have any questions on the forms that you have to file, because it appears that Janet's gonna get you with an amended return, which is a simpler process than a full filing.
Okay,
You can ask her how to go about that so you can get on our agenda,
okay,
the paperwork needed, et cetera,
okay.
okay?
Yeah.
I think there probably would be a notification of abutters, because
Yes.
when there's a shorefront activity, every abutter that has shorefront is involved in that, so.
Okay. I don't have a
And so
problem.
you know, we've been around here, Dan's been on this commission for probably near 20 years. All the walls you're seeing were probably there before the Wetland Protection Act of Norfolk had any wetland regulations or zoning. Those are all grandfathered before, because
Okay.
I don't think we've ever had anybody come before us to put a wall.
I don't
on the
know if that
shore
house across the
from-
way is even in Norfolk. It might be Rentham.
And
Probably
And
that's-
that's,
and
it's
that
a
probably-
that's a brand-new house, which is why I bring it up. And it has about a 4-foot wall and a brand-new beach that they obviously added. and everything else. And when I kayak, you know, as much as I possibly can, and just about every property, except for where they're not inhabited, wherever there's a house, I should say, most of it's walls. And I just don't particularly care for that, but I'll do whatever I gotta do.
I can't see any Conservation Commission letting you put a wall near the waterfront. Can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm,
Can't see it.
Go further down into the Rentham side
okay,
and take a look down there.
okay.
You know, all those rental houses, there were a lot of them where they tore them down except for one wall and rebuilt them.
Okay, well, that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I'm tearing a house down, rebuilding it, and in order to get the grade and everything done properly, you know, this had to be done. Part of it is to protect my family, because there was a lot of junk in the water, and Janet saw that, and I didn't, you know, obviously, I don't want people walking into that. Okay, I guess I'll come see you
Okay,
tomorrow. Thank you.
good
Thank
enough.
you.
Have a good night.
You too.
What else do you have for us, Janet?
Just FYI, because I tried to put a note on the agendas right before 6 o'clock, 25 Myrtle Street called, the one with
The fence.
the fence. I did up and mailed out the letter May 11th, but she said they just got it tonight, and it was too short of a notice.
It's okay, there's no problem. The fence is
So,
already there, so.
To get advance notice, so I suggested that she mark it down for whenever our next
That's not a
meeting
problem.
is.
All right, that's
At
good.
7 o'clock. And you signed that,
Yep.
okay, and then just the minutes?
I'd rather not
From the
find any
last
errors
meeting?
or omissions.
Yeah, I didn't either. Kinda
Okay,
shocked.
Joyce. Okay, Joyce.
So take a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of April 12th, 2017.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So you're all
No,
set.
Mr. Weddleton, you weren't here, so.
I can still-
1, 2, oh, all right.
Yep.
Good enough. All right, and our next meeting is June 14th, unless we hear otherwise.
Yes, based on what the agenda is. All right,
And
any
we sign
questions?
the release. Nope, we should be
Motion
good,
to
and we should
adjourn?
be.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're all set. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And you have a full coverage tomorrow.